Hollywood Forever Cemetery might seem like an odd place to some. After all, burial grounds aren't usually thought of as tourist attractions. But Hollywood Forever Cemetery is more than just a place for tourists to gather around and look at the final resting place of their favorite stars. It's a way for the friends and families of celebrities to honor lost ones who were close friends as well as stars. In today's video, we're going to unpack the dark history surrounding Hollywood Forever Cemetery and look at some of the most famous celebrities who've been laid to rest in its grounds. Judy Garland and Terry. Judy Garland wasn't originally buried at Hollywood Forever, but her close remaining family members had her remains moved to a special pavilion called the Judy Garland Pavilion, so they could, quote, bring her home to her Hollywood. Her children, Liza Minnelli, Joe Luft, and Lorna Luft, all felt this is what their mother would have wanted, and held a tearful ceremony as her remains were laid at their final resting place. Another member of the Hollywood Forever Cemetery is Terry, the dog most famous for portraying Toto in The Wizard of Oz. Terry was actually buried on her family's ranch after her death, but unfortunately the site was excavated due to construction in 1958, and her grave was lost forever. Thankfully, some people at Hollywood Forever Cemetery were determined to give Terry the memorial she deserved, and erected a bronze statue in her honor. Bugsy Siegel. Bugsy Siegel is one of the most bizarre and interesting people to be laid to rest in Hollywood Forever Cemetery. A notorious mobster might not seem the most intuitive choice for a cemetery of Hollywood celebrities, but he was actually highly influential. He was a huge reason why the Las Vegas Strip was built in the first place, and his handsome, charismatic nature meant he became a huge celebrity, despite his work as a gambler, prohibition smuggler, and hitman. Siegel was also a favorite among many Hollywood celebs, and became close friends with many of them, including Clark Gable and Cary Grant. Like many mobsters, his wealth and influence likely helped many stars find fame, which was a huge reason for his popularity. He was eventually shot and killed, and later buried at Hollywood Forever Cemetery. Mickey Rooney. Mickey Rooney was highly beloved for his various talents, including acting, singing, dancing, and comedy. He had a charismatic stage presence and was loved by millions of fans. In life, however, he struggled with alcohol addiction and financial difficulties. He also remarried 8 times and had tumultuous relationships. Rooney was one of the greatest Hollywood stars to ever live, and he worked in over 300 films, including Babes in Arms, Boys Town, and A Midsummer Night's Dream. He lived and breathed show business, having appeared in his first short at the tender age of 7. He continued to act up until his death. His final film appearance was Night at the Museum: Secret of the Tomb, which was released after his death. He was laid to rest at Hollywood Forever Cemetery. Burt Reynolds. Burt Reynolds is a huge cultural icon, and his rugged good looks also meant he was a huge sex symbol. While he often graced the screen as an actor, appearing in films and TV shows like Gunsmoke, Smokey and the Bandit, and Best Little Whorehouse in Texas, he also earned fame for his work as a director and producer. He won several Emmy Awards and Golden Globe Awards for his work, and was even nominated for the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor for Boogie Nights. Burt Reynolds had a long and prolific career that lasted from 1958 to 2018, and he spent his last days doing what he loved by continuing to work in show business. Sadly, he died September 6, 2018, at age 82. Hattie McDaniel. Hattie McDaniel famously played the role of Mammy in the award-winning film Gone with the Wind. Her stunning performance made her the first black actor to win an Oscar, and she was delighted to receive Best Supporting Actress for Gone with the Wind in 1940. Sadly, however, her legacy was marred by terrible racism. Firstly, she was not even allowed to sit with her fellow actors at the Oscars ceremony due to racial discrimination. Before her death, she expressed a desire to be laid to rest at Hollywood Forever Cemetery, which was known as Hollywood Memorial Park at the time. She was denied her wish, however, because even the cemetery was racially segregated, and was instead buried in Angeles Rosedale Cemetery in Los Angeles. More recently, however, newer owners have tried to right past wrongs. They erected a memorial dedicated to Hattie McDaniel as a way to honor one of her final wishes. Make sure you stick around until the end, because we're going to reveal the horrific mismanagement that has led to several scandals at Hollywood Forever. And if you're enjoying this video so far, be sure to give it a like and subscribe to Facts Verse. Mel Blanc. While most people wouldn't be able to recognize Mel Blanc's face, they'd be able to recognize his voice anywhere. This legendary actor was the voice behind Bugs Bunny, Porky Pig, Daffy Duck, and most other characters from Looney Tunes. He also voice acted characters on The Flintstones and The Jetsons, among others. He was one of the most versatile voice actors out there, and aspiring voice actors all over the world look up to him to this day. He was so good at his job, he was nicknamed the Man of 1,000 Voices. Mel Blanc was also a well-known radio show personality, which is actually how he got his start before working as a voice actor in the golden age of Hollywood. The Ramones. Many of the celebs on this list were famous actors, but the Hollywood Forever Cemetery is also the final resting place for many musicians. Two members of the famous punk band The Ramones, Dee Dee and Johnny Ramone, were both laid to rest at the Hollywood Forever Cemetery. Surprisingly, they weren't buried next to each other, but they are among the most popular graves visited by tourists. Charles Chaplin Jr. Charles Chaplin Jr. was born to two famous actors, Lita Grey and Charlie Chaplin. He had a hard time following in his father's footsteps, but made a name for himself during the 50s, when he became renowned for his acting work. He appeared in 13 films, but died at age 42 of a pulmonary embolism. He was buried at the Hollywood Forever Cemetery with his grandmother, Lillian Carrillo Curry Gray. Rudolph Valentino. Rudolph Valentino is one of those legendary celebrities who died tragically young. This Italian actor did most of his acting work in America and was well known for his work in silent films like The Sheik, The Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse, and The Eagle. He was a sex symbol in the 20s, and his death at age 31 was so sudden and unexpected it caused mass hysteria. He was hospitalized and found to be suffering from appendicitis and gastric ulcers. While the doctors operated immediately, they were unable to save him, and fans all over the world wept. Today, he's one of the most famous celebrities at the cemetery, not only for his life's work, but because his grave is said to be haunted by a woman cloaked in black that wanders around his burial site at night. Hollywood Forever Cemetery's dark past. Despite the popularity and fame of the cemetery, it suffered from a dark and tragic past. It was originally 100 acres large when founded in 1899, and it was first named Hollywood Cemetery. A large portion of it was purchased by RKO Studios, and a man named Jules Roth put a 51% stake on the property in 1939. But he grossly mismanaged funds. He claimed to later purchase a boat to scatter ashes, but instead he used the funds to purchase a party boat. Later, it was discovered his office was filled with urns whose ashes he had not scattered. He spent most of his time partying and spending lavish amounts of money, and the cemetery fell into disrepair. He also refused to allow people of color to be buried on the site. New owners took over, but they were later arrested for money laundering and other illegal practices to keep the cemetery afloat. Thankfully, Hollywood Forever Cemetery is in good hands now and remains a popular attraction. Now it's time to hear from you. Do you think the Hollywood Forever Cemetery is a good way to honor celebrities who have passed on? Let us know in the comments section below. And before you go, make sure you give this video a like and subscribe to Facts First for more. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content.